Okay, let me see. I might check 1 2 1 2. Nice. I'm getting set up here, y'all. In just a moment here. Let me see what I got going. All right, y'all. This is impromptu live. This is a special episode of I was about to say Homebuyer Academy Live. This is a special episode of More or Less podcast because I really feel this calling that God is leading me to. And it was one of those situations where you just got to do it before the enemy tries to stop you from doing it. And so right now I'm just kind of laying out the framework. I'm not going too in depth on what God has placed in my heart to do, but I've been in this place of like wanting to give, wanting to do more than what I've been doing. And I've noticed that I have a lot of resources and a lot of connections. And I always love giving. And I know with the state of the world right now, with the things that are happening in the world, I just felt this great charge, this great desire, this great call to give. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a Holiday Heroes campaign from now through the end of the year. And I'm going to kind of share insight like I've been doing with the More or Less podcast through Homebuyer Academy. We're collaborating our resources and our networks to see how we can give back in a tremendous way. So I'm challenging myself to go live more, to post more, to educate more, and this is kind of like me holding myself accountable in that space. And so let me just perfect. So I'm excited on what God is doing, and so I wanted to create this episode here just to kind of highlight some things that I often share on my podcast. As you know, with the More or Less podcast, we get inside your mind to change your life, to change the trajectory of your life, so you can be the best version of yourself. And I think it's a big call right now just to be a generous giver. And yeah, that's all I can say right now is God has just really been putting it heavy on my heart to be a giver, to call on people that have a means to give, to just bless others, and have that domino effect. That if you don't know how to give or where to give, you can start with just connecting with your local church, with some local businesses, nonprofits, and just do your part. Do what you can this holiday season to give back, and to give graciously. And with that being said, I kind of wanted to just do this impromptu episode and just kind of highlight some things and some mindsets that I had. One thing in particular that you'll probably hear me say throughout the rest of the years is that we're kind of giving up our holiday in the sense of giving. Like for Thanksgiving, my plan is not to do nothing super extravagant, but take a break from going crazy at the stores and just do treat it like another day, a time to enjoy with family, without doing going without feeling bad about not doing the big things, right? Just being more conservative, more reserved through the holidays. I think what happens a lot of times is people work super hard and then they work overtime during the holidays, and then they penny pinch and do all they can to just make Thanksgiving and Christmas the biggest and best it can be. And then they go into debt, they go into stress, they struggle, and then they start off the year with anxiety. That's why we have New Year's resolutions, because we make all these decisions leading up to the end of the year. And then we go into the new year deciding that we want to do all these great things. I want to get my money right. I want to get my body right. I want to get my mind right. And we make these stamps, and we try to change our lives in that time frame, and then we do the same cycle. We start off slow, we pick back up, we start having a great year, and then we blow all our money at the end of the year. But now more than ever, I feel like it's a great time to just be wise with our spending, be wise how we move our resources around, be wise how we, invest, be wise how we save, um, how we even pay our bills, whatever it is. I think right now it's time to stick to a plan. And if you guys have been watching Homebuyer Academy or ever been seen me speak in person when I talk about budgeting, I talk about living within your means and trying your best to just figure out what that means and being okay with that and not overexerting yourself and living paycheck to paycheck. It took me a while to get from needing to call on family and being in a place where I had to make tough decisions in order for me to be better off. Now that I'm in a space where I can do better because I'm living within my means, because I've been working harder and putting myself and my family in a position where I'm not living check to check, has allowed me to just learn from my mistakes, learn from my struggles, and capitalize on that so I can help others who may have been in my situation or worse situation financially to just kind of bounce back and continue to grow from there. I believe once you figure it out, you'll always figure it out. So, more specifically, for this holiday season, I put one note here of giving back as a means to change the trajectory of your finances. I believe that there's blessings in giving. I believe that God rewards us when we bless others. And I think when you have a heart to do that and also do it, God will give you more to increase. And then as you bless more, he'll give you more. And then the cycle continues. So if you want to break the habit of poverty, start with giving, start with helping somebody else. And it could be time. It could be your wisdom. It could be whatever you have to give, give that in service. And then once you have a means to give, then start sowing, start blessing, start giving. And then once that increases, you just repeat the cycle. Don't start doing these things. And when God blesses you with a whole bunch, you just say, oops, okay, now that I have what I want, stop, because he can take that just as quick as he can give it. So here's some talking points I want you guys to think about today. Be the blessing. We don't wait for miracles, we become them. I believe that when we walk as the miracles that we are, when God created us, uh, when we have a means to give, we have a means to serve God's people, he's going to give us the desires of our heart. He put the desires in our heart to fulfill those things. And as we fulfill those things, God will allow the blessings to flow from that. So be the living miracle. Be the change you want to see. That's why I just did this impromptu video. Whether I got views or not, I know I'm doing it late, and I just jumped out here and just did it. But it just was for me. Maybe one person gives, maybe a bunch of people give. You never know until you do it. And so the next point I want to bring home with this special episode is to shift this season. Instead of going broke this December, invest in your breakthrough. So the habits, you want to do what's best for your family. I say it might be better to have the tough conversation and say, hey, kids, hey, we're going to do, what we can this holiday season. Now, I did, I changed up some things for myself in the sense that, like for the holidays, I started buying gifts throughout the year and was saving to the side. Something I always wanted to do, but this is the first year I actually did it. So now that the holidays are coming, I can kind of stick to this regimen, this plan of not overexerting myself. And because I did early on, throughout the year and just have stuff hidden to the side, things like that, that I can just bless my kids when Christmas comes, bless them for their birthdays, things like that. But it took me being disciplined and being resourceful when I felt that I was like, this is a good time. I'm doing really good at my job. I'm doing really good here. You never know what the future holds, so let me do these things now to prepare for the future. And so that's something that I started living by. To so like even to now, I really want to try to be more conservative as I'm going into the new year. So I'm grateful that I did what I did early on. That way I can kind of stick to my plan of being more reserved, more conservative as I'm wrapping the year out and as I'm teaching these things. And so another point I want to drive home is sow where you want to grow. If you want peace, sow peace. If you want provision, sow generosity, whatever these things you want to do. There's an artist I listen to, and his name is Miles Minnick. He's from California. He's like he was in a situation. I love his testimony. He shared a testimony. Shout out to Miles Minnick. I love your music. He shared his testimony about where he was at like a Lecrae concert, and this was Lecrae was up and coming and doing his thing, and he got the chance to meet him, and this is when he was just first starting his career as a Christian artist, and he saw Lecrae, and he said, "I want to sow where I want to go." I'm sowing where I want to go and where I want to grow. And he like met Lecrae, shook his hand, gave him like, I don't know, he gave him $1, whatever he gave him. And in that moment, next thing you know, years later, they're doing a collab album together out in California where they made like a collaborative album. And it started with him sowing that seed. And so a lot of times we miss out on opportunities because we're not sowing in the right place. Sowing to that coach that's doing what you want to do, sowing to that business. Like I always say, like invest where you bless. For example, I like Starbucks, so I have stocks at Starbucks. I shop at Costco. I have stocks in Costco. Things like that. Like but blessing and investing are, in a sense, two different things, but you can kind of see where I'm going with that. Sow where you want to go, sow where you want to grow. And if you're serving at your church, sow abundantly. Give back to if you want to be a blessing in your community. Think about what you want to do specifically. And so if you want to give back to kids, so into the local Boys and Girls Club. If you know a ministry that's doing outreach, that's doing certain things that you like, so into that. I always wanted to be a financier for the kingdom because with the lifestyle that I live, I know I can't do a lot of mission trips and things like that. I mean, I can, but I have to change some things up. But because I'm not able to do that, I decided, let me just be a blessing financially for those that can. Now, that doesn't mean I won't lay hands, I won't pray, I won't go on mission trips, but there are some people that are called to do that. There are some people that live for that, that can do that more frequently. And so I want to, but they may not have the means to do that. So I'm calling God for me to be able to do that. And a lot of times when people are giving and they're doing these campaigns, you don't really know where the resources are going. And so that's why I feel like, and I've always been an advocate for, what you do in secret, God will bless abundantly. And so right now I'm in a space where I'm trying to navigate how God wants me to approach that part of it. But I know a lot of organizations, nonprofits, in the my local area that are doing certain things. So as you give to our ministry, we're going to give to those ministries that are doing those particular things. Because Image Inc. is all about giving. Image Inc. is all about helping families out, giving gift cards, blessing, paying for meals, giving toys, donating, all these different things. That's what we're here to do. And you may not know where to go. You may not know where to sow. You may not know where to grow. Start with your local church. Start with your friends, your circle of influence. See what organizations they are a part of that are doing something for the holidays. And if you know of anything, feel free to message me, DM me, say, hey, we got this thing going on. We would love to collaborate with you or what you're doing with the Holiday Heroes campaign. I have no idea what God's about to do with this. All I know is God said, do it, and I'm going to do it. And then this last point I want to bring home is faith over your finances. Don't worry about what your finances look like right now. God can do anything in any amount of time. Just because your finances don't look like where they want to be for you right now, I encourage you and I admonish you to just trust God. If you got your last $5 in your pocket, bless somebody, give to somebody, and give with a heart to give. Give with a heart to give, and God will reward you according to what your heart posture is. And so this holiday season, I encourage you guys to sow a seed, to be a holiday hero. There's so much negativity happening in the world right now. People, everything. I'm not even going to get into it. There's so much stuff that's happening that people are losing hope, that people are scared, that people are struggling, that people are suffering. And my goal is that if you have a means to do whatever you can, you might not be able to give graciously or abundantly, but you can give a little bit. Your $1, your $5, your $10 can be a blessing. And so right now, what I'm doing with my business, with All Got Everything, is that my kids and I, we decided that we want to give half of our earnings, like from now through the end of the year or maybe beyond. If you click the link in the bio and then the description, it's going to show you different ways to give through our ministry, which is Image Inc., or through All Got Everything, which is the business, our clothing line, our books. 50% of those earnings are going to go to helping families in need. So whatever you purchase, whatever earnings we get from that, half of that is going to go to blessing families, blessing organizations that are giving back this holiday. We're going to be out in the streets. We're going to be out in our communities giving back. And so if you want to be a part of this, if you want to say, hey, Maurice, I love what you're doing. How can I help? Share the link. It costs nothing to share the link. It costs nothing to share this video. It costs nothing to like and share and post. And so that's what I'm going to be pushing now through the end of the year. If you can't give, at least give your timeline, give your reel, give your post this holiday season. So I thank you guys for joining me on this campaign. I thank you guys for um, listening into this special episode of the More or Less podcast. But as a special treat, I'm going to be teaching on our podcast. I talk about mindset and money and setting a foundation to build generational wealth. So I'm going to continue to teach these free lessons through my podcast. But if you want me to come into your church, your organization, and bring this information, I'll happily do that as well. All that information is in the link in the description, or you can visit my website at mauriceijones.com. But the most important thing is that right now, my focus is on giving back this holiday season. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Share, like, subscribe, and give. Thank you guys, and God bless you.